Today I'm going to show you how to create a theme template like this where you have equally spaced guides. I'm going to show you how easy it is to get started. To begin, I'm going to go ahead and start an image that is 12 inches by 12 inches, 300 ppi, RGB background, and make sure the contents are transparent. And I'm going to hit create. And next thing I'm going to do is go to view and make sure extras are on and rulers are on. So make sure those are checked. And you'll know they're checked because, for one, you should see rulers around the border of your images. Now, hit F, so this goes like that. So what I want to do is I'm going to create a 3 by 3 grid. So in other words, I'm going to have 3 images going across and 3 images going down for a total of 9 images because it is a 12 by 12 document. And to start off with this, if I want to create a guide, which is an invisible line, essentially. Well, you're going to be able to see it, but guides don't print, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to come to the 0, 0, and if I mouse down on the ruler and drag down, you can see that when I let go, I get something like that. There's my guide. Now, it's not where I want it to be, but Photoshop is pretty forgiving. I can move it. So click your Move tool. I'm going to hit Shift F again so I get back into this mode. I kind of like seeing it without all this extra distractions around. And I can move it up and down. I'm going to put this first one at 1/8 of an inch. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. And what's nice about this is I don't have to even see the whole document to get down to this part. So I want another guide right here. So again, mouse down. There it is. And then I'm going to create a guide that's going to be vertical. That's going to be at 1/8 of an inch. So mouse down over here on this ruler and drag, and boom, there it is. And then mouse down again and drag, and there are my initial set of guides. So to create the rest of them, I know that if I have 3 images, really it's 4, and then 8 is where the dividing line is. But if I want to create a border, I actually need 2 guides because I want to have some dimension to it, not just have one image lined up. So I'm going to bring this over. So instead of putting it directly at 4, I'm going to put it at the halfway point between the 1/8 of an inch. So it's really at 3 5/16 of an inch. And then the second guide is going to be at 4 1/16 of an inch. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. So instead of 8, it's going to be 7 5/16 and 8 1/16. And then I'll do the same thing here, mousing down. So instead of 4, it's going to be 3 5/16. So it's in between those 2 little spaces. See? So, and again, if I look at this later and I think, oh, that's too wide, I can drag this around and move it so it looks good, right? And oops, cancel, and I'll do the last one. So that's the first part of this, is you're going to create a document that has guides. Now, I happen to make mine as a 12 by 12 with even square boxes. It doesn't have to be that. If you look at the criteria for this assignment, in no way do I state that it has to be, the criteria actually states, if I make this bigger, that either it's an 8 by 12 document or a 12 by 12 document, and that you have at least 9 images. But you can see that, you could space it out. So this is terrible alignment, but you could have something where, that's the typical box thing that you're getting. But depending on how you have it set up, you could make it so you have like one image that's bigger than the other. I'm just going to air draw here for a second. So here, I'll show you what I'm talking about, right? So I could do something like this. Or maybe what I'm going to do instead is have I'll just draw. Oops, to make a point here. What if I had 3 images up here? Forgive the really bad sketching, but you get the idea. And then what if I had one big long image here, right? And then another 3 images down here, but they were all related to each other as a theme. I'd still need to use the guide system to do that, the grid system, but obviously that's going to give me instead of this, it's going to be this, right? So when I'm done, I'm going to save this as, not this one, this one as file, save as silver _ so your last name, and I'm going to call this one theme1.psc, okay? And that's how you set up the guide system.